Hi students, welcome to this assignment 1. Here in this lecture, I have provided some of the questions where we are supposed to write the answers as a part of first assignment in the database management system. Before asking the question, I would like to bring your notice what are the various course outcomes of this DBMS subject is. There are 5 have been identified. The first one is design a database schema for an application using RDBMS concepts. The second one is write the various SQL queries for tasks of various complexities. The third one is build applications using database system as the backend. The fourth one is understand internal working of DBMS, including data storage, indexing, query processing, transaction processing, concurrency control, and recovery mechanisms. The fifth one is analyze non-relational and parallel or distributed database systems with a focus on scalability. So these are the 5 outcomes. Based on these 5 outcomes, the course has been prepared, and I'm going to ask the assignment questions to get the first and as well as second course outcomes as a part of first assignment. And the questions were framed using the Bloom's taxonomy, and here I have used the fourth, fifth, as well as sixth Bloom's level taxonomy is used. So what are the fourth one, fifth, and sixth one are analyzing, evaluating, and creating. So under the analyzing, so the verbs comes here, analyze, assume, and so on. In evaluating, agree, appraise, assess, award, and so on. In the creating, adapt, build, change. So I'm going to use these words so that it is possible for you to write the answers using this Bloom's taxonomy. You should see that you have to elaborate the answers using based on the particular Bloom's taxonomy. Let's see the questions are. This is the question 1, and the marks will be awarded 2 marks. And the question is said, prepare using Bloom's taxonomy 4th level, and what is the course outcome is the first course outcome. The 4th Bloom's taxonomy is used in framing of this question. Please see, understand the question is. Analyze the major steps that you would take in setting up a database for a particular enterprise. What is the answer to be written for this question is, what you have to do is, every organization prepares a database for them to store the data about their employees as well as for customers and so on. So in the context of here, when they have decided to have a database, what are the steps required? There are various steps to be followed. And once the steps have been taken, we are supposed to analyze the steps. Based on this is called 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. I'm looking for an answer. There you should analyze why this step have been taken into considerations in preparation of a database for a particular enterprise, so that the answer comes into the Bloom's taxonomy 4th level. See the second question is. This second question is here now. Bloom's taxonomy 5th level and CO1 level. Course outcome is 1. Evaluate 5 ways in which the type declaration system of a language such as Python or Java or C++ differs from the data definition language used in a database. There are various programming languages exist. Example called Java exists, C++ exists. So as well as Python also exists. So these things are type declarations language. How these languages are different from the SQL language, that is called data definition language. So you're supposed to evaluate your answer is. So you're saying that is called the first difference you're identifying, and you should justify it. You should evaluate it. So how this is different from this particular, the data definition language different from the other language like Python, Java, or C++. You're supposed to express these things, the 5 ways, evaluate the 5 ways which the type declaration system of a language such as Python or Java or C++ differs from the data definition language that is a part of SQL used in a database. The third question is Bloom's taxonomy 4 and CO1. Examine keyword queries used in a web search are quite different from database queries. List key differences between these two. in terms of the way the queries are specified, and in terms what is the result of a query is. So how do you here search a particular page on the web? So we use a Google or a Bing. So these type of search engines we use to find the equivalent website is. There we are writing a particular word, a keyword you are writing. Their answer comes out. At the same time, if you want to know a particular record from a particular table, we used to write the queries. In SQL, we used to write a query to get a record based on your queries. What is difference exists between these two? So there are you are using in the search engine also you are writing a query. At the same time, you are also writing a query in the database. What is the difference you identified? And that you should examine it. You should tell examination point, examine the each and every difference, whatever I said that is called. You should show the examples also for each and everything. That falls into the Bloom's taxonomy 4 and CO1. The marks for this question is 2 marks. And the last question, what you have is, for this question, there are 4 marks, and Bloom's taxonomy 4 and the CO2. Examine the results after writing queries using relational algebra, tuple relation calculus, and SQL. The relations to be considered to write the queries are suppliers, parts, as well as catalog. You are supposed to write the queries for these 5 questions. You are supposed to write the queries. The answers to be used for these queries are, you have to write the queries in relational algebra, tuple relation calculus, and as well as in SQL. The 3 of them you have to use, and 5 queries are exist. So 5 3 is 15 queries I'm supposed to get from you using the relational algebra, tuple relation calculus, and SQL. The 3 relations I'm using: suppliers, parts, and catalog. The schema of the suppliers is supplier ID, supplier name, address. Parts is part ID, part name, and color. Catalog is supplier ID, part ID, and the price. And what are the 5 queries are? You're supposed to write: find the names of all red parts. Find all prices for parts that are red or green. A part may have different prices from the different manufacturers. Find all prices for parts that are red or green. Find SID, supplier IDs of all suppliers who supply a part that is red or green. Find the supplier IDs of all suppliers who supply a part that is red and green. Find the names of all suppliers who supply part that is red or green. So what you have to do is called here is, you have to see that is called only on parts the queries have been asked, and you have to write it. So these are the questions. Write and submit by 30th of this month. Thank you.